Hi, my name's Andy Mitchell. I'm a principal engineer here at Artcraft, and today I'm going to talk a little bit about some of the stages we progressed through developing the technology for wall destruction that we're using at Crowfall. We started this effort last year working with one of our bright young summer interns named Michael Barre, who got some inspiration from a plugin that he found and adapted it based on Todd's vision of breaking a brick wall up into its individual bricks as it's destroyed. Here you can see one of our earliest efforts where we started with a simple rectangular box with a brick wall texture and scanned the pixels of the brick diffuse texture map to detect the lines we wanted the 3D geometry to be cut along. You can see from the skinny pieces in the top row that it's easy for the algorithm to get confused by the grayscale variations when it's trying to tell the mortar from the bricks. So we experimented with other strategies like using the normal map or the height map texture instead, and we even tried using an alternate UV set to indicate where to make the cuts. We finally settled on using separate overlay textures in simple black and white that indicate cut here and matches up with the existing texture coordinates that we then strip off those cutting instructions after we're done with the cutting process. Now you can see one of our first artist-created models, and right away you can see they like to do artist things like use multiple materials on a single mesh, add bevels and non-right angle edges, and even bits of wood that look like they're inlaid but they're really just painted on. So it took a bit more work to accommodate those sorts of things, but the main effort was really to extend the networked object model to allow a server-client version of the wall destruction. I wanted the server to broadcast state changes for hundreds of these wall chunks or individual bricks as they moved around, and I needed to create basically a super lightweight shared physics object with just a position and a rotation so that this way everybody sees the exact same view of the destruction, and you can even stand on top of the wall as it's being blown up and jump from brick to brick as they're falling from underneath you, which is quite a different animal from some games where the destruction effects are client-side only and are really just eye candy instead of a shared experience of the game. So the next level of complexity we wanted to support was to allow the artist to attach what we call debris pieces. We use these debris pieces to allow the artist to customize the wall pieces in a variety of different ways that don't affect the main destructive strength of the wall when used in combat. So now that we've got an artist-created wall piece with multiple materials defining different areas and debris pieces allowing them to decorate them in an interesting way, we've moved on to some of the larger pieces that we actually want to put in our castle. So putting all the pieces together, you can see that we're now able to support more elaborate creations by the artists, more complex castle wall pieces that we can actually assemble into interesting looking keeps. So what I want to show here, I've added some simulated latency of about 3/4 of a second upstream and 3/4 of a second downstream between the client and the server. That'll allow you to see the server's bounding shapes represented in green as they lead the client's representation, demonstrating that we're actually running a true client-server model with a shared simulation running on the server and being broadcast to each of the clients. One of the surprises we encountered as we tested this was that what seemed like a great idea from a gameplay standpoint of having lots of individual bricks, and Todd loves bricks. He kept saying, more bricks, no, I want more bricks, was that we ended up with a giant rubble pile of bricks after you knocked the wall over. And this wasn't really something fun for the players to clamber over and scramble around. So we started coming up with tricks to make blocks disappear, to make wall chunks disappear when they hit the ground or when they are impacted by a projectile. So now we've got a little scene where we put all the pieces together with the castle piece and a catapult in a little test scene. We're going to show you what the different elements of destruction look like when they all come together.